It's an exciting time for a local producer. He scored a big win at MTV's Video Music Awards, and we got a chance to talk with the man behind Taylor Swift's latest hit music video in an exclusive interview. And thousands of Southern Nevada teachers who were set to go on strike will instead go back to the classroom, what they're getting out of a deal that was struck earlier tonight.
And we nearly hit 100 degrees today as thunderstorms rolled through the central portion of the state. I've got a full look at where we touched some heat records today.
This is News 4 at 11 on your side.
And good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Joe Hart. Well, an artist with roots in Reno is basking in the national spotlight.
You know, the hardest part was taking the risk to move down to a city where you don't know anyone and you don't have any connections or anything like that.
Local Nevadan and a Reno High grad, Drew Kirsch, won big at Monday night's VMAs as Taylor Swift's music video director. Kirsch directed Swift's You Need to Calm Down music video that earned 2 notable titles at the MTV Awards in New Jersey, one of them being Video of the Year. Pretty impressive honor. Today, News 4 talked with Kirsch about how his career got started and his thoughts on the message behind the music video. Zach Slotemaker joins us now with more.
Yeah, well, Joe, we're able to grab Kirsch just before he left for a weekend at Burning Man. But in the time we had, he says he was anything but ready to shake it off after that win in New Jersey.
It was an eventful night for T-Swift, but also for Reno local Drew Kirsch.
And the VMA goes to Taylor Swift. You need to calm down.
Swift's music video, You Need to Calm Down, directed by Kirsch, did anything but that, with 7 overall nominations and 2 wins.
It's a pretty surreal feeling.
For Swift, another pair of Moon Men will walk among others she earned, but for Kirsch, it was recognition for a decade of hard work.
I mean, I just started as a kid with a video camera shooting skateboard videos or snowboard videos in Lake Tahoe, and I just worked hard. I mean, it was from day one, like every night and day, and not sleeping a lot, and I love what I do. Like, it's every day is something new.
In addition to Video of the Year, the music video also won the Video for Good award for its support of the Equality Act, which aims to protect the LGBTQ community from discrimination in the workplace.
Awesome to be a part of such an important video with an important message that, you know, it's not a new message, but it's cool, and I'm grateful to be a part of, you know, something I believe in and something that, you know, echoes across the entire world.
And moving from the biggest little city to one of the biggest cities in the world was Kirsch's biggest challenge, but he said loving what you do and working hard every day was what helped him to get where he is now. Joe?
All right, congratulations to Drew. Thanks for that report, Zach. Well, the summer sun gave way to thunderstorms across the region throughout the day. Chief Meteorologist Cassie Wilson is tracking it all from the Weather Center and joins us now with the forecast. We're going to see this pattern for the next couple of days.
We're done with the rain, and we're done with the rain for the next 7 to 10 days. No sight for moisture here in our skies, and while we've cleared on out tonight, we're even touching a heat record in Reno. 99 today. That ties an old heat record we set back in 2017, which happens to be the second warmest summer in Reno's history. So some really late season heat here, holding tight, almost getting to 100 degrees today, but no cigar. Currently at 77 degrees right now. We're still on the warm side, and well, as we take a look at your overnight, we're going to stay in the 60s, not cooling down a whole lot when we should be getting into the 50s into the overnights this time of year. 90s return tomorrow, and coming up in my full forecast, we're going to dive into the heat lasting through Labor Day. But this dry weather is taking back over, and some cooler weather actually going to push its way in come September. All of those details here soon. Joe?
All right, thanks, Cassie. Well, an update tonight on a head-on crash in Reno that sent 2 people to the hospital earlier. The crash happened on East 4th Street this afternoon and shut down 4th Street. Reno police say a pickup truck was driving east and crossed into the westbound lane, slamming head-on into a car. The woman in that car was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries, and the driver of that white truck that you saw in the video suffered minor injuries. Now, police do not think that speed, alcohol, or drugs were factors in this crash. Again, that section of 4th Street was shut down for several hours, back open tonight. The investigation, though, is ongoing. One of Reno's newest master plan communities is finally opening to the public this month. Ranchera, a 140-acre master plan community, welcomed its first resident actually this week. Now in total, the community will include 7 residential villages with 611 units. Ranchera will also feature dozens of commercial and retail opportunities. Reno Land Inc., which purchased the land back in 2015, is focusing on the completion of the club at Ranchera. The vice president of development says it'll be at least a couple of years, though, before Ranchera is fully operational.
You're probably about 4 years out from total build out there. I mean, you got 141 acres. You still have a lot of civil infrastructure that's going in, in the ground for roads and for water, for sewer, telecom, things like that. So it's going to be a process, but a lot of the property has been spoken for already.
It's a big project there. Within the next 12 months, dozens of residents will be able to start moving in, and a few retail stores will also start to open during that time. Well, it looks like a planned teacher strike in Southern Nevada has been called off tonight. The Clark County School District and Teachers Union did reach a deal. The agreement includes a 3% salary increase, as well as a 4% increase in health insurance premiums for all employees. The Clark County Teachers Union is set to meet to discuss the terms of the agreement and has now agreed to suspend protests that were planned for early next month. Governor Sisolak fighting to ensure all Nevadans will continue to have full access to food stamps. Sisolak has signed on to a letter defying a proposed rule change by the Department of Agriculture that aims to limit access to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as SNAP. Now, he writes, if this rule takes effect, hundreds of thousands of beneficiaries across the United States, including 46,000 right here in Nevada, would lose access to basic food assistance. The governor joined 16 other governors in signing the letter. It is a one-of-a-kind event that is only held here in northern Nevada. It is all about speed. The guys at NSN caught up with the CEO of the air races, and we'll have part of that interview coming up next. Plus, a hurricane is headed for the East Coast. Dorian threatening damage as it moves through the Atlantic Ocean. We'll find out how those in its path are preparing for the worst right now.
And here in Nevada, we're preparing for a very easy Labor Day weekend. I've got a look at that forecast. Plus, September right around the corner. We're going to talk about some cooler weather heading our way.
The following segment is sponsored by West Hills Behavioral Health Hospital.
Well, more than 68,000 Americans died of an overdose in 2018. Tomorrow is International Overdose Awareness Day, and Join Together Northern Nevada is collaborating with numerous community partners to observe that day and bring our community together. JTNN Executive Director Jennifer Dillette Snyder joined us now to talk about the event. Thanks so much for coming in. Who do you hope that comes out tomorrow to take part kind of in the remembrance and the kind of the vigil there?
So we really want families to come out, anybody who has lost a loved one. So there are those who have lost their lives due to an overdose, but there are also families who have not lost members. Maybe they're somebody who has suffered an overdose or who has survived. So it's really to honor either those memories or the person who has survived.
Okay, everyone will meet at the Believe sign. That's at First in Virginia. What happens from there?
Okay, so we meet at the Believe sign and come early if you can, but at 5:30 what we do is we will walk across over to Wingfield Park and we will have messages of hope or remembrance on foam flowers and hearts. And when we get over to Wingfield Park, we stick them in the ground temporarily, and it makes a nice visual aid to just to see all these, a sea of hearts and flowers in the ground. We have a couple of moments of silence. We have a couple of speakers, and we have about a 30-minute program.
Now, I understand there's going to be a Narcan demonstration and also some Narcan that will be given out. How critical is that we have this anti-opioid drug in our community?
So this is the only drug that will reverse an opioid overdose. So it is very critical that we have it, and we want to make sure it gets into the hands of those people, either family members of somebody who uses an opioid or those people who use one. Maybe they take a prescription drug, maybe somebody is using an IV drug, but we want to make sure it gets out there.
That they have that. Now again, the event is happening tomorrow, and you're just hoping anyone will come who wants to kind of even just support the community. We know this has become a huge issue in our community, and we thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Just a quick reminder, there is all the information. This is happening for International Overdose Awareness Day tomorrow at 5:30, and you can meet at the Believe sign. It is open to everyone. All right, if you want more information about this too, you can go to our Addicted Nevada webpage, or our webpage, mynews4.com, and click on the Addicted Nevada icon. Joe, back to you.
All right, thanks, Shelby. Well, Purdue Pharma is in talks to settle more than 2,000 opioid-related lawsuits. The company, which makes OxyContin, will reportedly offer billions of dollars for its alleged role in the opioid crisis. A federal trial involving thousands of cities is still set to begin October 21st until a settlement is finalized. Now, Purdue Pharma is accused of a big marketing effort that persuaded doctors to prescribe OxyContin. Purdue Pharma says it will defend itself vigorously.
I don't think they're concerned about years of appeals. I think they're concerned about their financial liability and responsibility, which is going to be massive if they don't settle.
As for the payoff, the New York Times is reporting that much of that would be funded through a restructuring of the company through a Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing, and that means the profits from the drugs that it sells, including OxyContin, would fund that payout. Well, tonight, revelations in an investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. Investigators have obtained a trove of prosecutorial evidence used against Epstein in the mid-2000s, video from inside Epstein's now infamous Palm Beach home, and evidence found inside the home that shows the influential world that he lived in. Jay O'Brien with our sister station in West Palm Beach, Florida, has been digging into the documents for us on that.
We've seen reports of the allegations against now deceased mega millionaire sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Through police evidence from the original Epstein case, we're now hearing directly from those involved.
It was something in high school. Everybody was like trying to make money.
A young woman speaking with a town of Palm Beach police detective.
Half of the school knows about it.
Half of the school know about it?
Plucked from her high school in Palm Beach County, she said she met Jeffrey Epstein when she was 17. A friend, she said, drove her to Epstein's Palm Beach estate where she was to give him a massage.
Do you recall anything weird when you were going up the stairs?
The pictures.
Pictures of what?
Naked people.
At any point, did he ask you to remove your clothes?
Yeah.
The young woman said she refused on her first visit, but still earned $200. The second trip?
He offered me more money just to take my shirt off.
She said on yet a later visit she did remove her bra. She said Epstein touched her chest and rear end over underwear. She said she made $300 for these massages.
Every girl that meets Jeffrey starts off with giving him a massage.
Another young woman we hear from was 19 when she spoke with detectives about her alleged role bringing other teen girls to massage Epstein.
Basically, if you take off your clothes, you're going to make more. If you let him do things to you, you're going to make more.
She said although she got naked to give Epstein a massage, she wouldn't let him touch her.
So after that, he's like, you know what? He's like, listen, I'll pay you $200 for every girl that you bring to me. He's like, I don't want you to massage me anymore, just bring girls to me.
And she did, she told police. Near the end of the interview, investigators confronted her.
At this point, you've clearly implicated yourself in a crime, okay? You've taken girls to somebody's house for the purpose of prostitution. More importantly, and more significantly, one of those girls was 14 at the time.
Now that woman there ended up cooperating with police and avoided criminal charges. Recently, there's been a push to hold at least certain Epstein enablers accountable, and the investigations continue. In West Palm Beach, Florida, I'm Chuck Weber reporting.
Well, forecasters are tracking Hurricane Dorian's path through the Caribbean after pounding the U.S. and British Virgin Islands with rain and wind. The storm is expected to strengthen over the next few days, leaving coastal states in the storm's path on edge. Nadia Romero is in Puerto Rico with more on that.
Damage and destruction. Hurricane Dorian is lashing the Caribbean with heavy rain and damaging winds. The storm's outer bands reached as far as eastern Puerto Rico, but the brunt of the storm's wrath fell on the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Downed trees blocked roads and streets filled with water as the storm churned over St. Thomas.
This storm is not to be trusted. It jumped all over the place and really started forming up at the west end of St. Thomas, and they really took a battering
President Trump approved an emergency declaration for Puerto Rico. Federal agencies will also provide critical aid to the U.S. territories and the Caribbean. But as Hurricane Dorian pushes north back into the warm, open waters of the Atlantic Ocean, forecasters warn the storm could strengthen to a Category 3 hurricane. As it barrels towards the U.S. mainland through the weekend, the storm's unpredictable path has coastal states on edge. Officials in Florida and Georgia are bracing for the worst.
We're not exactly sure where this storm is going to go, but you need to start preparing now if you're in the coastal communities.
Florida's governor declared a state of emergency Wednesday, urging residents to prepare themselves ahead of a potential disaster and have 7 days worth of supplies ready, including food, water, and medicine. In Ponce, Puerto Rico, I'm Nadia Romero.
Current forecasts show Hurricane Dorian making landfall across Florida. That's expected to happen on Monday. And while the storm is threatening the East Coast, the clouds are clearing up here closer to home, although we saw plenty out there earlier this afternoon. Chief Meteorologist Cassie Wilson in with the latest on our forecast. Cassie?
That's right, Joe. We saw some severe thunderstorms moving through Lassen County, some good thunderstorm activity south of Highway 50 through Lyon and Churchill counties, but now we're clear. We're quiet. We're still warm, though. 77 in Reno right now with temperatures tomorrow right back in the 90s. But here's the deal. We were close to 100 degrees today. Tomorrow we'll be closer to 80 degrees. So low 90s in your Thursday afternoon forecast. We're looking at clear skies for Thursday as well. Now dry weather is back starting now, lasting through, well, the middle to end of next week. So really no chance for rain here in the foreseeable future. And it already has been a very dry August overall, a dry July, a dry summer, and a hot one on top of that. Temperatures tomorrow are back in the mid-90s for Fallon. We were in the triple digits there today, so cooling down ever so slightly. Still hot, though, for Fernley at 93 and Silver Springs at 92. Taking a look at Hawthorne at 96 tomorrow, Urington at 94, but 80s for Minden and Gardnerville. Up around Lake Tahoe, we are talking about temperatures in the upper 70s and low 80s for many, so not a bad Tahoe forecast, but a little breezy as we head towards the afternoon. Winds will get gusty out of the west here as we head along that 395 corridor for Susanville. 89 for your high there, 84 in Portola with mid to low 80s for Gray Eagle as well. Temperatures here in the valley spread of the 80s actually for some. Cold Springs, Verdi, Galena, Washoe Valley, those higher elevation spots in the 80s, but we still hold on to those 90s for Reno, Sparks, Spanish Springs, Dayton, and Carson City. Tonight in Reno, expecting low 62 degrees. We're clear, we're mild, and we're quiet. Tomorrow, hot, sunny, and dry. Normal this time of year is 88 degrees, but we're going to start to see more 80s here. So closing out the month of July, or the month of August, let's not go backwards, right? Closing out the month of August, hot and dry. Still feeling like summer for your Labor Day weekend plans. And then as we head into next week, we are talking about those 80s. So 80s at taking over while we're cooling down. We're not seeing any big pattern change. So still dry overall with sunshine to hold through those 7 and 10-day forecast trends. Labor Day around Lake Tahoe in the low 80s, a beautiful forecast. We're getting spoiled here as summer is just not really ending anytime soon, but change is on the horizon as meteorological fall technically starts on Sunday.
From Insider Nevada Sportsnet Studios, I'm Brian Samudio, and this is NSN Now. It's a one-of-a-kind event, and it's only held right here in Northern Nevada. The Reno Air Races are coming up in just days, and we have their CEO and president join us on NSN Daily to talk about the show. It's one of these great events that we have in Northern Nevada. We have so many of them, and if you're an organizer, somebody that runs it, you're just kind of like the anticipation, because it's 370 days a year you're working on this, and finally, it's here. I would imagine you guys, it's almost like Christmas.
It's very much like Christmas for all of us that fly and all of us had a chance to work on the Reno Air Races. And as you know, I mean, Reno is home to so many great events. And it's a real challenge in some ways for people like us, but we're second only to the Reno Rodeo in terms of length of time. This will be our 56th National Championship Air Races. We're terribly excited about it, and I appreciate the time to talk to you and your audience a little bit about what we've got coming.
Of course. I mean, and if somebody's never been to the air races, it's not just air races, but there's 6 great classes that you're going to see. You're going to see from these very, very small, just almost the custom, just small, tiny ones to jets. I mean, flying around, and I mean, just every moment you're looking to the sky and you're hearing something else, and it's so cool. The Reno Air Races will run September 11th through the 15th at Stead Air Base. For more information on it, just go to our website. That's nevadasportsnet.com. Inside our studios, I'm Brian Samudio. We'll see you next time.
All right, well, coming up, it's one of the most anticipated special events of the summer. We're talking about the Rib Cook-Off, and it's here. We'll tell you about the schedule coming up after the break. Stay with us. All right, beer lovers unite. Barrels and Bites is almost here. It's a great event. The event features more than 100 themed alcohol and spirit booths, food provided by 8 local eateries. Also a raffle to win a Princess Cut diamond valued at more than $5,000. That's not a bad prize for someone that they'll take home. The event will be held at the Peppermill on September 6th. All proceeds will benefit the Boys and Girls Club of the Truckee Meadows, so it's a great fundraiser. If you want to buy tickets, you can find information on our website at mynews4.com. And one of the tastiest of all our special events is back, and we're talking about the Nugget Rib Cook-Off, of course. The Best in the West Rib Cook-Off kicked off today out there in Victorian Square and runs through Monday. It features 23 rib cookers. They come from all over the world, competing to win best ribs in several different categories. More premier barbecue cookers are on hand this year, along with all the free live bands for your entertainment. Ribs will be served from 10:30 in the morning until 9 at night, so you have plenty of chances to get out there. That's going on through Monday, and then through Sunday, that is, and then Monday it is open until 5 o'clock when things wrap up, and that's when they hand out the awards as well. So a couple of fun events going on. It's going to be a busy time the next few days.
Here we go. Still have a whole lot of summer to get through.
I know, Cassie, we do, and a lot of summer weather we're hanging on to, too.
Yeah, still 90s for Labor Day weekend, so get out and enjoy it.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, that's it for us. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.
From the Terrorism Alert Desk in Washington, I'm Allison Starling. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo spoke out in Indiana about America's longest war as the U.S. prepares to downsize its military presence there.
Our mission there was to defeat al-Qaeda, and that we shall do, and that we shall continue to do. We're proud of that record. But the truth is, America has never sought permanent military presence in Afghanistan, and all sides recognize that times move on.
The U.S. and Taliban are expected to come to an agreement to an end of fighting after 18 years. A new study looks at whether people with terrorism-related convictions will reoffend. This study focused on hundreds of cases starting after 9/11 and found rates of reoffense are low compared to other felonies. From the Terrorism Alert Desk in Washington, I'm Allison Starling.
Hey guys, Common is my guest tonight. He's here to talk, freestyle, and perform with Swiss beats. Plus, we have an 80s aerobic dance challenge with Kate Upton. Stay tuned. Good.